end zone. He's got Simpkins caught in for the touchdown. Deshaun Simpkins with the snag.
Looking up to Sims Marshall. Home run down for Jalen Marshall. He's got a touchdown.
It's the pregame here on Chatterbox Sports. Along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim, week 3 partner, and we finally get the conference play. In the case of the Middies, they're looking for something good here as they try to get on the scoreboard.
You know, it's all about the offensive line play for them. It has to improve. They want to have any chance of getting through this Lakota East defense here tonight. It has to improve, Jeff.
On the other side, the defense has been pretty good for Lakota East, but we're going to focus on the offense, and it's not the arm of the quarterback, it's his legs.
Absolutely. I mean, 231 rushing yards for TJ Kathman through the year right now, 235 yards through the air. I mean, this kid is a true dual-threat quarterback right now. He's going to be a menace for the Middletown Middy defense tonight.
It's the Middies and the Thunderhawks. We'll have the play-by-play and obviously the starting lineups when we return here on Chatterbox Sports. As we look live here from the Hawks Nest in Liberty Township, along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Glad to have you along for week 3, the start of conference play here on Chatterbox Sports, the game of the week. Kev, it's time to zero in on Zilch.
I'll tell you what, Jeff, we've got a great night here for some football. Here's my keys to the game. For Middletown right now, you got to convert on third down. They're 4 of 23 on third down this year. You're not going to win many games doing that, especially as you get deep into the GMC schedule for Middletown. Second, ball control. No turnovers, and you got to control the clock. Keep that Lakota East offense on the sidelines. And then you got to contain TJ Kathman, that dual threat that Lakota East has at quarterback. Limit the dual threat and maybe put a spy on him on defense. That might be a way to limit that down for Middletown. For Lakota East, establish the run early. Get the ball in the hands of Eric Davis and utilize TJ Kathman in that dual threat role for the quarterback. And then limit penalties. They had 9 penalties, Jeff, for 79 yards last week against Milford. You're not going to win many games down the stretch doing that. And then third and final, continue to win the time of possession. Against Moeller in week 1, they actually won it 21 minutes and then 27 minutes last week against Milford. So if they can do that, they're going to have a lot of success, not only tonight, but as they get deeper into this really tough GMC schedule.
Well done, partner, as we zero in on Zilch. I think that's now our new moniker for our segment here.
I love it.
Time for our starting lineups here as we take a gander at Middletown, 0-2. Don Simpson's their head coach in his 4th year at 4-25. They will receive the ball, so we'll give you their starting offense. At quarterback, it'll be 16. Kellen Davis at 6'3", 230 pounds, a junior. Lamont Chambers will be the running back. And it'll be a 4-wide-out set. No tight ends to start things off with. The split end is DeMarco Powell, James Franklin, Kendrick Bell, and J.C. Calhoun round out the receiving core. Up front, Brooks Sorrell is the left tackle. Diamante Kinley will come off the bench. He'll start tonight at left guard. Logan Flack is the center. He'll move over from left guard and play center. Majaden Lewis is the right guard, and the right tackle is Jovan Davis. The starting defense here tonight for Lakota East, in with a record of 1-1. Rick Haynes, in his 12th year, is at the helm. The starting defense, they run a 3-4, the Thunderhawks do. Kevin Cornell is at one defensive end, and on the other side is Jaden Palmore-Lett. The defensive tackle is Caden Hibbert. 4 linebackers here in this set: Nate Rosario, Harrison Buchheit, Chick Reisner, and Ethan Evans. And the defensive backs are Caleb Van Hosser, Cam Freeman, Kyle Poppy, and Justin Green. So we're just mere moments away from the start of this one. I don't know how they're going to get these kids off in 30 seconds. I don't think so. So, partner, you and I have a little bit more time to kibutz and talk about the two teams and just the GMC in general. Lakota East came off the deck a week ago. They shut out Milford 35-0. Strong defense, but an uneven game from a certain perspective for TJ Kathman. Obviously, he's getting some big runs for touchdowns, but he had 3 fumbles a week ago.
Yeah, the turnover bug kind of bit him last week. Definitely got to limit that down. But you also look at Eric Davis, 107 yards on the ground for Lakota East last week against Milford. Look for him to have another big night here. Even going back to week 1, Jeff, that Moeller game was a back-and-forth bloodbath of a game up until the third quarter where Moeller was able to pull away by 2 touchdowns. So, this Lakota East team, they have some really strong talent here.
As we await the emergence of the Thunderhawks here at the Hawks Nest here in Liberty Township in the home grays tonight with the black trim and numerals. They got some white showing here as well. They'll take on Middletown. And, of course, it feels like the whole town of Lakota has come out to see this one, partner.
I tell you what a great night we have on tap here. I mean, the weather is absolutely beautiful. The crowd is rocking and rolling. We had a pregame show, a game day live here beforehand, so just absolutely fantastic.
And here come the Thunderhawks. While we have some time, let's also turn about fair play and give you the starting defense here for Middletown. They run a 3-4 defense. Jaden Lewis, Noah Early, and Christian Printup up front. Lamont Chambers is at a linebacker spot. So is Ronan Casanova, who you and I will talk about quite a bit tonight. JJ Calhoun and Gabe Terrell are the other linebackers. The defensive backs, Trevon Bryant will get the start tonight. Jeremy Alvarez, Gavin Thigpen, and Daylon Moore. On the other side, the offense, we did mention TJ Kathman at 6'1", a senior. He will start at quarterback tonight. Charlie Kenrich will be at a wingback spot along with Nick Rabin. Eric Davis will be a fullback. Kyle Poppy is a wide receiver for this Thunderhawk squad, and Ben Stowe's the tight end. And the offensive line, the Seaverveld twins. Austin, the left tackle. Aiden, the left guard. Greg Roverson's the center. Cameron Haberthier is the right guard, and Harry Clute is the right tackle. And still a lot of kids, as you can see out on your screen, out there, out on the field. I don't know how they're going to clear them, because at this point we are really, truly ready for game time. In fact, right in front of us, just maybe at the bottom of your screen, the view is they're trying to get the band equipment and the scaffolding out of the way so the players can actually have a bench here to start things off. As you can well see, overcast skies tonight, 75 degrees at game time. Humidity's at 49%. Wind is east to the northeast at about 5 miles per hour, or more importantly, into our press box.
Yes, a little AC tonight, Jeff. Finally, right? After 2 weeks of sweltering heat and thunderstorms and rain and humidity, finally a football weather night. And it's September, too.
Well, I think that was a strong part of it, Kev, in that it is September. We had 2 August games, and for the life of me, I'm having a hard time remembering the last time I'd seen 2 regular season games in August.
I know, weird schedule this year. Not sure if that was a COVID thing or whatnot, but definitely odd to have those 2 in August.
So we're waiting to go. And again, as we had mentioned here at the top, Middletown's going to receive. They will have the ball first here in the start of conference play. 8 more weeks here in this regular season, we hope. And unfortunately, 2 teams won't get to start conference season tonight. That'll be Hamilton and Princeton. And it's because Hamilton had some contact tracing a week ago, and they have called off a couple of games, and that includes the conference opener against a very heralded Princeton team. And you and I, Kev, got a chance to see Hamilton, now 2 weeks ago, and boy, they were impressive.
They were very impressive, especially being down 28-8 in the first quarter, and to come all the way back, not to panic. I was so upset for Coach Mahan's team when I saw that alert come across my phone that they had to cancel 2 games because of COVID. Hopefully next week they would get back in the swing of things up there at Hamilton.
Time now for our kickoff, powered by Cintas. Over 1 million businesses rely on Cintas. So get Cintas and get ready for the workday. Trevor Hoffman waiting at his own 40, as you can see in the center of your screen, ready to kick things off. And, of course, quite a heritage kind of name, even though we're told no relation to the Baseball Hall of Famer. Looking to see who the deep back is. On one side, we can tell that it is Jalen Dillard, who scored the lone touchdown for Middletown a week ago, and J.C. Calhoun to the top of your screen, or what will be the top of your screen when we pan over to the south side of the stadium. Beauty night here in Liberty Township as we await this one. Ready to start things off for week number 3, and how fast the season goes.
Ooh, man, can't believe it. Man, what a night, Jeff. What a night. Ready to get this thing rocking and rolling.
Here's Hoffman, and away we go, end over end. And it's the running back from his own 5. Cuts to the middle at the 10, trying to angle to the outside, and cannot make the 20-yard line. That's 3. And that's Jalen Dillard, the return, 5'7", 175 pounds, a senior.
Great penetration there by the Lakota East kickoff team to get down there, and they really honestly blew it up. What they didn't do there actually was they didn't settle down and actually try and make a tackle. They could have had a tackle inside the 5 there. But another great job by special teams. That could come into play here tonight, Jeff.
One of the starting defensive backs, Justin Green, got the tackle to start things off. 1st and 10 from the 16 and right in the middle of the field. Center cut. And it's Kellen Davis out of the gun. Some movement on the line, and I got to tell you, Kev, I'm a blind man on occasion, and I saw that from up here.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. We always talk to the offensive lineman, got to hold your water, and that's never a good omen when that's the first play of the game is an offsides by your offensive lineman.
So a false start.
Get ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
And the voice you hear tonight is Jerry Einsfeld. He's the referee. We'll give you the rest of the officials here after this next play. 1st and 15 to start things off after the opening penalty. Again, the 3-4 shown by the home team tonight, and they motion, and now we've got more histrionics. So while we sort that out, the rest of our officiating crew tonight, the umpire is Jeff Butler, the linesman is Aaron Sigmund.
On the offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The line judge is Matt Johnson, and John Molesky is the back judge.
Repeat first down.
So 1st and 20 on consecutive motion penalties. So a case of the yips to start things off, and again another flag. So, partner, we got a case of the yips to start things off.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. These are moments where I'm glad I'm not coaching right now because I'll tell you what, I would be going ballistic on the sidelines. That's just undisciplined football. I don't know whether it's the kids are just amped up from school or whatnot, but they got to settle everything down. Shoot, I might even burn a timeout here just to get my team over and settle them down right now.
So, 1st and 23 from the 3-yard line. As Davis is in the end zone, he gives to the running back off the left side, barely got out of the end zone, and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Justin Green out of his defensive back spot on the stop.
One thing that the Middletown cannot do, especially when they're on that hash mark, they ran into the boundary there, but they didn't plant their foot and get any vertical leverage to get downfield, at least fall forward. You got to fight your way forward if you're that running back, especially running into the boundary.
Again, it's Davis clapping for the ball. And now he'll roll, throw to the right, and it's incomplete. Nobody's home. Calhoun was going for the deep route, the 9 route down the sideline. Instead, he probably should have cut out to the outside, and it looked like 8 on the near side, and 8 is Kendrick Bell, one of the starting wide receivers, incomplete to bring up 3rd down.
Well, one thing Kendrick didn't do there was, it didn't seem like he finished his route. I don't know whether he didn't think the ball was coming to him, but if he sprinted, he would have gotten a step on that defensive end and probably had a nice gain there for Middletown.
They go trips to the bottom of your screen. And a single to the top. And you can imagine a blitz coming here, and again, some more motion. Our 4th flag, some dirty laundry to start things off in the first period.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's going to be encroachment on the defense there, yeah.
So Ethan Evans, one of the linebackers for this East crew, guilty of the infraction, and I guess turnabout's fair play. If nothing else, Davis is out of his own end zone on 3rd and 18. Now he has to step up and he'll eat it. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage or a yard more, but it's 3 and out for all intents and purposes after all those flags.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that is not the way you want to start the football game if you're Middletown. 3 straight penalties to start the game, and then honestly just really lackluster effort there on offense. Good job, though, by Kellen Davis, quarterback. Go down, didn't try and force anything there, Jeff. You just got to live to fight another down.
So the ball is officially placed at the 9-yard line, so a 1-yard gain for the quarterback. As the return man is stationed over at the Middletown 40-yard line. That's Rabin. And this was once blocked out to the boundary and jumped on, and it's 1st and goal coming up for the home team tonight. So Reisner recovered And again, 1st and 10 with 10:28 left to go. So the ball literally bouncing the way of the home team so far.
Yeah, literally bouncing the way of the home team, Jeff. You've hit that nail right on the head. Outside of the one encroachment penalty by Lakota East, they really, didn't have to put much effort into that drive right there. And, that punt block team for Lakota East just went through like a hot knife through butter through the Middletown punt team.
Eric Davis is the feature back here in this lineup behind the quarterback TJ Kathman. As we had mentioned, has been running on very strong. The give, Davis, and they beat him up. Middletown does right at the mesh point for no gain. Amongst the first to get there was Lamont Chambers out of his linebacker spot.
I love to see old school football, Jeff. That's just an old school veer play. You don't see that very often anymore. But just a great job there. You got to ride him down into the line of scrimmage, literally. But just I love seeing old school football like that.
So Chambers gets his first tackle of the night. We did mention Raven's name. Of course, we'll talk a lot about Charlie Kenrich, who is the focal point now in this I formation. And the give to the short man up front. Davis scores from 7 yards out, 6-0 Lakota East. As we get a look at this one on the replay. And again, you can see the short man getting the give, and that's Davis for his first of the night.
Great push by the offensive line there for Lakota East to get upfield. And, really, again, they've just kind of manhandled that defensive line for Middletown right now. If you're Middletown, you got to figure out a way to get a positive play right now. That's all you need at this point in the ball game.
Trevor Hoffman will kick. She is up and through. 7-0, just that fast for Lakota East. 2 plays, and it soaks up 43 seconds off the clock. 6 yards officially on the first play loss for a yard, then the 7-yard touchdown run by Davis.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, obviously very quick and easy for Lakota East. Right now, if you're them, you got to keep your team focused, because right now this is when you start losing the focus, because they start thinking, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. And as we know in the GMC, partner, anything's not a cakewalk right now. We saw Hamilton come back from 20 points down in 1 quarter. So this ball game is far from over. So if you're Lakota East, you got to just kind of bring everybody back down, settle them down, and stay focused on your game plan.
So just 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go here, or at least gone on by, beg your pardon, here in this first period. 7-0 on Davis's 3rd touchdown of the year. And he's already carried the ball a ton this year, partner. In fact, those 2 carries that he had, I don't know if you credit the quarterback or Davis on that first carry, but if you do credit Davis, he now has 33 carries so far through the first 2+ games.
I mean, he's one of those special running backs. 107 yards last week alone on the ground for him. I'm really anxious to see what he does going forward with this game.
Hoffman, a big end-over-end kick. And this one will go into the end zone for a touchback. We mentioned Davis at quarterback, so when Davis comes out, he's 12 for 27 a week ago for 142 yards. No touchdowns, 1 interception, and he ran the ball 9 times, but didn't do it very much against Springboro as they held him to negative yards, negative 11 yards a week ago.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see if they can get something going with him in the backfield. He can be that dual threat, I think. It's really going to boil down, like we talked about in the pregame, the offensive line for Middletown. They got to be able to figure out a way to get a push on that big defensive line for Lakota East.
3 to the top of your screen. And it's a run play to Chambers. Nowhere to go. Oh, he's still on his feet, and now nowhere to go. A loss on the play. He motioned his way back on out of that, and Nathan Rosario, the defensive back, out for the stop.
Just nowhere for him to go. I mean, this defensive line for Lakota East right now is just absolutely dominating the offensive line for Middletown. They're going to have to figure something out here just to get a positive play.
So -3 on the play, 2nd and 13, and they go doubles to each side. With time is Davis looking deep middle. Now steps up and throws. It's complete out to the sideline. And a good job by the scat back running back to get positive yards on that one. That's 3. and that's Jalen Dillard as Green came up to make the stop.
Great protection there finally by the Middletown offensive line. So now you got to build off of this now, Geoff. You got to continue this momentum with if you're Middletown, because you finally got a positive play under your belt.
Third, and we'll call it 4 on the pickup of 9 by Dillard. So they motion Dillard into the slot to the right, and of course, as you see on your screen, no tight end for this Middletown crew. They empty out the backfield, and they go 5. And they go to the left side, complete, and it's a first down to the split end, all the way past the 40, out to the 43-yard line. DeMarco Powell gets his first catch of the night.
DeMarco Powell, 8 receptions, 107 yards so far on the season for him. Just add in there. Great job by the quarterback to step up in the pocket and make a really good throw. That was a really well-timed throw right to his receiver. Just hopefully you can march it down the field here if you're Middletown.
Kyle Poppy on the stop. 1st and 10 at the 42. And the quarterback keeping it off the fake, and now he may take a loss on this one as he's chased down the field. Initially, Jake Reisner had a beat on him, and Kyle Poppy escorted him out to the boundary.
I don't know whether that was a broken play there or not, but my goodness, that had a lot of penetration. A guy in his face literally right after he snapped the football. So, again, another negative play for Middletown.
Well, they clearly didn't bite on the fake over to Lamont Chambers. It's Chambers to the right of the quarterback. On 2nd, and we'll call it 14, and here's the jet sweep coming to the near side. And nowhere to go, a loss on the play. So J.C. Calhoun was trying to string it out. He's got good speed, especially off the jet. No dice there as Rosario came up to make the stop.
Great job by the Lakota East defense on pursuit angles. And what that means, Geoff, is that every defender has an angle that comes down when the ball comes outside of the tackle box. Great job there on pursuit angles for him.
Partner, I just want to distract you for just a second, and our good friend Kyle Decker is in the house.
The boss man.
You know it's officially a game of the week when Mr. Decker's here. Back to pass is the quarterback. He wants it all down the sideline, and it is incomplete, in and out of the hands of the split end DeMarco Powell.
Davis underthrew him there. If he puts that ball on him, I'll tell you what, that was really close, really close to being a really nice pickup for Middletown there.
Cam Freeman on coverage, and he was maybe perhaps a half step behind, but the ball was thrown out towards the boundary and no real shot there out for the split end. 7-0 here at the Hawks Nest here under what's going to be a beautiful evening. And a far cry from the one we had a week ago.
Yes.
They'll punt from the 37. This one gets away. It's a spiraling kick, high arcing, and this will drop short out of the 40 and be recovered there. 23 yards on the punt, nothing on the return. 7:19 left to go here in this first period. 7-0.
Lakota East right now, coming into this drive here, running this wing T veer option, if you will. I guess you call it kind of a hybrid wing T. Really anxious to see what they can do here, especially with Eric Davis in that backfield. And also, I'm really waiting to see TJ Kathman and see what he can do with this dual threat position at the quarterback.
1st and 10. They set up in the I with twins to the bottom of your screen. And they pitch out. It's Kenrich coming left side. He's got the first down. A big 12-yard gain there out there for Charlie Kenrich.
The veer option, Geoff, is one of the hardest offenses really to stop. And the way you stop it is you have to tackle 3 guys every single play. You got to tackle the wingback, you have to tackle the quarterback, and you have to tackle the running back on every single play. That's literally the only way to kind of defend this. It reminds me a lot of what Cole Rain ran back in the Kerry Combs days.
And we just saw Kerry on TV a night ago, by the way. He's the defensive coordinator at The Ohio State University. And this one up the middle for minimal yardage. TJ Kathman, by the way, as we sort this one out, 11 for 26 coming into the ballgame for 42%, 235 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, a rating of 143.6. But he has ran the ball 31 times coming on in for 231 and 3 more touchdowns.
Just an absolute dual threat, especially with this, inside veer option offense that they're going to run. I mean, you got to know where he's at all times if you're on defense for Middletown.
Kyle Poppy to the top of your screen, and they go into the wing tee. And they motion Rabin, and the backside give. It goes to Kenrich again. Good yards into the linebacking core, and a nice pickup of maybe 5 on the play as we come to the halfway point of this first period.
The old wing back counter, man. Tell you what, that's some old school football play right there. Loving it.
Chambers on the stop. 3rd, and we're going to call it 1. Out of the 38-yard line. Quick math tells you that they need to get to the 37 with 5:43 left to go here in this first period. 7-0 Hawks. Let's see if they go up top here, partner, because, you're so close. You're not thinking field goal here. No, instead it's the quarterback keeping it, and he's got the first down.
And, really when you take a look at, those short yardage plays, like 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1, some coaches will use that as a waste down. I've never viewed it that way. Every single down of mine is precious. So I don't call anything. I've never called a waste down play. I've gotten in arguments with coaches on game day because of it. So, I've never viewed it that way. Every single down that I have is pure and precious to me, and I got to treat it that way.
Jaden Lewis on the stop, and the give to Davis up the middle, exploding in. He had one man to beat. Out to the 15. That's a 20-yard pickup. Alvarez on the stop, a saving tackle. As we take a look at this one on the replay.
Another great job by the Lakota East offensive line here. You're just going to see him absolutely get a great push up front, and then he finds that hole, puts his leg down, plants his foot, and gets upfield for the big game for Lakota East.
Davis officially takes him to the 14, and we now enter the Cincinnati Reds red zone with 4:41 left to go here in this first period. Let's see if they can tack on the 7-0 lead. And the quick give, and it goes to Davis for short yardage here on that one. Partner, before you speak, did want to tell you, for breaking news and behind-the-scenes content, follow the Reds on social. You can go to @Reds out on Twitter. So Davis has gotten a fair amount of carries here so far tonight. Looks like they pull out the tight end, Ben Stowe. Do they go a little bit more positional here? Rabin out to the slot. And I believe it's the quarterback keeping it. He will fake the pitch out to Kenrich and takes it inside the 5. J.J. Calhoun on the stop. And it's 1st and goal with under 4 to play.
One thing I'm noticing, what I love here when I'm seeing Lakota East do on their offensive line, they're widening their splits out on the goal line. I love doing that. A lot of teams you see, they want to pack everything in. Spread them out, create those angles so you get those nice down blocks for the running backs.
1st and goal.
The big back is Eric Davis behind TJ Kathman. And Davis is a load, by the way. Big thighs on him. And the pitch out, it goes to Kenrich. They sniff it out, and he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. First met out there by Daylon Moore Simpson.
Well, great job there by the Middletown defense, Simpson as well, but the whole defense playing contain. And that's another key aspect of trying to defend this option is you got to maintain outside contain. Great job there recognizing it, going up and making a play, but also not over pursuing him and forcing him into a juke situation. Great job there by the defender for Middletown.
2nd and goal from the 3. So a good job by Kenrich just to get back some yardage and keep them up front inside the 5. They motion Rabin. The give. Davis, he's in for his 2nd. 13-0 Hawks.
Number 34, Eric Davis with the touchdown run for the Thunderhawks.
Great drive there. From start to finish by Lakota East on this last play, you're going to see another fantastic push by the offensive line, the orbit motion, and then just absolutely pile drives himself through that line. What I like there, Jeff, though, is they were methodical in the way they marched it down the field. You know what I mean? And they did different things. You saw that their offensive line splits were getting wider and tighter as they moved down. They're adjusting themselves off of what Middletown is doing defensively. So great job by the offensive coordinator for Lakota East right now and the head coach coming up with a great game plan. For Middletown on defense, really you got to just hone in on your keys. This is a tough offense to defend. It's tough for anybody to defend. You got to hone in on your keys, and everybody, it's the old Bill Belichick mantra, do your job. And it's hard to do, though, against this offense, but that's what you got to do.
We need a short timeout right here. 2:38 left to go here in the first. 14-0 here on Chatterbox Sports. .38 left to go here in this game of the week, powered by Bartell's Heating and Cooling. Along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here for Week 3 action on Chatterbox Sports. Our spotter tonight is Josh Nuren. Josh, take a bow. Got to give credit where credit's due, my friend.
Absolutely.
So, it's funny. It's you and I have been used to being a little bit more on our own. Josh has been our eyes, and if nothing else, he's kept me on my toes here through this first period. Trevor Hoffman to kick things away from the north end of the end zone, and a high pinwheeling kick, and it's taken by Calhoun at the 3. Cuts to the middle of the field, has a move, and the ball came out. The ball came out, and we've got a marker down on the field, maybe just a spot. This may head the other way.
No, I think Middletown actually fell on top of these. That's the way the referee's signaling right now. The returner actually ran into his own player. And, Jeff, this is a big rule that you have on kickoff return. You never, ever, ever turn back, okay? You always have to keep your head and your eyes forward. Otherwise, that's exactly what happens right there. So just, another mistake by the Middletown Middies.
So Chambers on the recovery. 2:30 left to play here in this first period. And again, tough field position for Middletown. They're on their own 14-yard line with 2:30 to play here in the opening period, down 14-0. They motion Calhoun back to the top of your screen. Chambers, a nice stutter into the middle of the defense, and he gains good yards on first down.
Great job there. He found the hole, but he also was able to get leverage and fall forward then.
Evans on the stop. Wanted to tell you, because we didn't get a chance to do this, last drive, 9 plays, 60 yards, all on the ground. And that thing took up about 4:45 off the clock. And, of course, Davis gets his second of the night. Point after is good. And we've got our 14-0 score. Davis, the dummy count, and now he gets the ball with time. And now he runs out of time. Got a flag on the play, and this one's batted down and away. And we'll have to sort out the flag here on second down.
One thing I noticed that Middletown did on that play there was they actually brought their running back and put him in a blocking situation. I'm going to be interesting to see if they continue to do that down the game to get their offensive line just some more help.
Second, and we'll call it 6 with 1:48, and then we're going to back things up. And this has been a hallmark, partner, since the very beginning, literally the very beginning of the game. 3 straight motion penalties against the visiting Middies, and that's punctuated here this first period.
It's really hard to move forward and score touchdowns when you're constantly moving backwards, Jeff. And that's just, again, it's just a tough night right now. A lot of football left to go. A lot of football left to play in this game.
I'm trying to think about anybody moving forward while moving backward. I'm thinking about this, as Davis will keep into the middle of the line. Out.
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing it is, Jeff, when you're an offensive line coach, you always try and put things in perspective, right? And you try and use different analogies. They don't always make sense, but, hey, that's just part of coaching sometimes.
I think, and mind you, one's a physical move backwards, and the other is a career move forward. The only guy I can think of that has moved forward while moving backwards is the so-called king of pop, Michael Jackson.
There it is. Absolutely. I will give you that. You're 100% right on that one.
Third, and we'll call it 14. And a big rush down, and helmets coming on off as Davis tried to keep that one alive. And it was a comedy of errors. He tried to move back at least to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's just becoming a tough night right now for Middletown. They just cannot get. They had a little bit of movement there on their last drive, but right now they're really struggling to find any type of momentum or to get anything going. It's just they got to figure something out. And I like what they're doing. They're giving their offensive line a little bit more help by putting the running back in a blocking situation there. So we'll see if that helps them out down the road.
Jaden Powell-Marlette on the stop, and they'll punt this one away again. Rabin, the deep back, and it comes to him at the 43. Nice step around and a flag on the play as he rolls down to the sideline, and we'll see where they officially spot him.
Curious to see what this flag is here. Didn't see anything over there, Jeff, that was necessarily eye-opening, or blatant, I should say.
Well, and it's funny, the way the flag had come in from our top of the right part of your screen, it looked like it was well downfield, and it's against the home team.
Yeah.
As we await the word from tonight's head official.
On the return, we have a legal block in the back. Number 9 of the 10, please. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So Jerry Einsfeld saying it's an illegal block in the back. And by the way, what a memorable name to have for anybody, because who does that sound like?
Oh, I missed it there, partner. What was that?
Hang with me here just a second here. So as we come up here on this first play, and Davis has nothing going here. We'll see if that's the final play here. And I, for those of you who don't watch a lot of sitcoms, Jerry Einsfeld is tonight's head official. Who does that sound like?
There it is. Oh, my favorite sitcom of all time, Mr. Jerry Seinfeld. Coming to Netflix here soon.
Okay. Well, we're due for our break as we come to the end of this first period. 14-0 Hawks here on Chatterbox Sports. Back to action here in the second. The give to Davis up across midfield, and he gains a few yards to bring up third down. Along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Sports, our game of the week powered by Bartell's Heating and Cooling.
You know, one guy we haven't really talked about, he had an amazing block there, and I noticed he had another amazing block down the goal line. Charlie Kenrich going to Purdue. I mean, just an absolute, you should see him on the sideline. He is huge.
By the way, you got the burner at the top of your screen in Caleb Van Hosser. Back to pass is Kathman. They go to Van Hosser, and it's into his hands. He splits the defenders goodbye. 48 yards on the connection, 20-0 Hawks.
Wow. Jeff, just another one. I actually honestly thought that was going to be intercepted by Middletown. He threaded the needle, got the ball in there. And there just streaks down the sideline. Look at the speed he has going down there, man. Tell you what, that kid is a very, very fast person.
48 yards on the pass completion. With 11:16 left to go in this half, it's now a 20-0 score. As we await the special teams, it's Hoffman out of the hold of Rabin, and the kick is good. 21-0 here at the Hawks Nest tonight on a 3-play drive that goes, as we do some quick math here, 22 seconds plus another 44, 66 seconds on the drive. 3 plays, beg your pardon, 3 plays that go 53 yards, and the hookup for Kathman, who gets touchdown number 3 this year, and he goes to Van Hosser, his deep threat, as Van Hosser gets his second TD of this fall campaign.
Well, I think right there you see kind of the dual threat that TJ Kathman provides this Lakota East team. He can thread the ball in, and that was a fantastic pass. You had to put that right on the money. Otherwise, that was pick 6 the other way. So great pass there. We've seen him run the ball. Really liking this kid at quarterback, Jeff, just because, when you have a dual threat like that, that's another person in your backfield. Because honestly, in most quarterback situations, quarterback drops back to pass, throws, hands off. He is actually taking the ball and gaining yardage every single play for Lakota East.
Calhoun to the far side while waiting the kickoff out at the 5-yard line, and we see Jalen Dillard on the near hash mark out towards the 10. 3 touchdowns, a couple on the ground by Davis, and then the big hookup by Van Hosser, a catch and run of 48. Extra points all good so far in this one. 21-0 as East is trying to make it 2 in a row after an early season stumble against Moeller. And partner, I know you and I saw that game separately and collectively as we were watching tape. And the one thing that caught my attention about Moeller in that one is, as we get the kickoff from Hoffman, and here's Calhoun from the 10. 15-20, now it reverses field to the top of your screen and into the secondary, out to the 30-yard line, out past the 30 to the 35-yard line. So a good job of reversing field for J.C. Calhoun.
Absolutely. Great job there. Really finding it, getting the edge. If you're Lakota East, if I'm the special teams coordinator there, I got to go, wow, we got to really focus on keeping that backside contained on our kickoff teams. Otherwise, man, he has another step or two. That's going down the sidelines for possibly 6 points.
And it was the kicker, Hoffman, who had to come up and stop him out on the sideline. 1st and 10 at the best field position tonight for Middletown at the 34-yard line. Chambers up the gut, off the right side, has some room, initially out to the 38-yard line, so we'll call it 4 as Evans out of the linebacker spot comes up and makes a stop.
Great job there, again, by the the center Logan Flack for Middletown, getting a great push up there. Actually, that's not Logan Flack, I don't think. But no, another great job. Just, again, Middletown, keep the momentum going here.
2nd, and we'll call it 6. And again, they give to Chambers, and this time he stopped right up the middle. And a big push by the front 3 out there, Caden Hibbert, Kevin Cornell, and Jaden Powell-Morlett. It'll bring up 3rd down, and this is a situation, partner, where Middletown's had trouble tonight, those possible 3-and-outs.
Yeah, really getting these situations. Right now, this is probably the best 3rd down situation they've been in all night. 3rd and 5, or 3rd and 6, which is manageable. They've been in 3rd and long all night long, so anxious to see what they do here.
Davis will operate out of the gun. Chambers to his left. Dummy call, and now they got twins to each side. Back to pass is Davis. Now rolls left, looking to the middle of the field. Now we'll have to keep it. And the first man to meet him for the short loss there is Caden Hibbert.
Jeff, I'll tell you one thing right now. Middletown, I think they really have to just simplify everything on offense. They've gone in different formations. They've tried running the ball. They've been in shotgun, under center, motions, left, right. Pick something and stick with it for at least a drive or at least a couple drives. Try and get some type of consistency offensively. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to figure out what's going to work. But sometimes you just got to go, all right, we're going to stick with this, and this is what we're going to do for the rest of the half and, see what happens or work off of that. I just think they got to kind of, what's the old motto, KISS, keep it simple, stupid? I think that's kind of what they need to do here.
Nearly blocked this one again, and a fair catch called for out at the 25-yard line and a flag at the end of the play as well as Rabin collects. Now, if this holds up, it's a 35-yard punt, but let's see what the flag is with 9:07.
Hard for me to see what that flag was or where it was, but definitely looks like they're going to take it back.
Well, they'll officially spot the ball at the 25, and did they just pick up the flag because we're not hearing?
They might have. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they did.
So they did just pick it up. And it's 1st and 10 at the 25 with 9:07 left to go here in this first half. And it's a 21-point spread here in this one so far. And the give, it goes to Kenrich, has some room off the left side and tripped up as he approached the 30. So a nice bit of running off that left side for Charlie Kenrich.
Kenrich getting a great push there off the edge. Planting his foot, getting him forward. I think you're kind of seeing what Purdue has in store for this kid because, he is a thick person. He is just thick-bodied. He can put his head down and fall forward all the time. Just a really, really big kid. Anxious to see what he does the rest of this game.
Outstanding basketball player as well. And they pitch it out over for Kenrich, who tries to defy the defenders. Ball came out at the 40-yard line. It was covered up from behind him, and a flag at the end of it as well. As Kathman covered it up coming from behind. And it may just be a spot flag just to kind of show location as we take a look at this one on the replay.
almost like he didn't even see that he realized that he kind of fumbled that football. Good job by TJ Kathman to come up behind him and be there. Otherwise, that ball was just kind of floundering there. Anybody could have picked it up.
So they move the chains, 1st and 10 at the 40 on the pickup of 5 again for Charlie Kenrich. And the pitch back, it goes to Kenrich. They've been featuring him as he goes behind the brothers Seerveld, Austin, and his twin brother Aiden.
I tell you what, I gotta love when you have brothers on the offensive line. I mean, I don't want to know what their mother's grocery bill looks like, because I'm sure it's a lot feeding those two big guys on the left side for Lakota East.
Well, they appear to be fraternal twins because there is a size difference between the two of them. Austin is the more heralded one. He's the left tackle. He's been the left tackle since last year at 6'5", 315.
Yeah, that's big.
2nd and we'll call it 4. They motion Kenrich again, and a quick hitter for Davis. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40-yard line. Move the chains once more, pick up a 15.
Again, Jeff, when you want to defend this inside veer, you got to do 3 things. You got to tackle the running back, the wing back, and the quarterback every single play. Otherwise, that's what's going to happen right there.
Alvarez on the stop and move the chains as they move the ball inside the 40-yard line to the 39 with 7:07 left to go here in this first half. And East has been impressive here in these opening minutes.
Very impressive with their offensive line movement right now. I mean, they're just chunking yards away down the field. It seems like 3-4 yards every time.
Play action. Kathman wants the home run. The 8-route touchdown to Rabin.
Flag. We got a flag on the play back there.
Well, one of the offensive linemen is calling that it's called against Middletown. We'll see what it is as we head to center field and to Jerry Einsfeld to call the penalty.
For the personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 5 from Middletown. The touchdown is good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The linebacker Lamont Chambers, guilty of roughing the passer, but TJ Kathman gets his 2nd of the night, the first one tonight to Nick Rabin for 39 yards. Here's Hoffman. He's been plenty busy out of the hold of Nick Rabin. Harry Clute is the long snapper. The kick is away. Pinwheeling through, 28-0.
Another 28-0 ball game for us there, Jeff, in the first half. But I mean, a great job there by the Lakota East. I'm just, you and I talked about it. I'm just so impressed with the way that they've been able to just move the football with ease. I mean, without anything going down the sideline. I mean, again, just fantastic job by the offensive line, everybody on that play. And there, you just saw the dual threat of Kathman right there, his arm. I mean, that was a pinpoint accurate throw.
5-play drive that goes 75 yards. It takes 2 minutes and 25 seconds off the clock. The first pass play of the drive, it goes to Nick Rabin for 39 yards. Point after is good. The brand new score here at the Hawks Nest, 28-0. And maybe there's something in the water for the Lakotas. A week ago, you and I had seen Lakota West jump out to, a 35-point lead, I believe, before West Claremont got on the board. We have a similar situation unfolding here at the Hawks Nest.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe there might be something here in the Liberty Township water that, right now both teams, the east side and the west side of Liberty Township, are playing fantastic football right now.
While we got a moment, just want to compliment our whole game day crew from having Chatterbox game day here at the stadium. What was it, Neon Night, I believe is what it was. Yeah. And then, our crew here to my right, have the newlywed Reed Mouse, who's just calm and collected here, and then Joe Meehan, equally calm out there as well. Trace Fowler's our executive producer tonight, and it is really, truly a full Chatterbox house here this evening.
We got on the Jumbotron. I've never been on a Jumbotron before.
Well, and that's the funny thing, that what you're seeing on your screen at home or wherever you're watching, it's a little squibber up the middle, out to the 31-yard line, and this one will be good field position here for Middletown. So Tayshawn Adams recovered that one. And again, good field position here with 6:46 left to go. The one thing, partner, that I do like and don't like, just from a game situation, is the threat of a running clock. You have a 30-point margin, you get a running clock, and we're right now at 28-0. The possibility is distinct.
Yeah, and again, if you're Middletown, I just go back to the last point I kind of made there. I think that you just kind of got to hone in on what you want to do offensively, all right? They've tried everything on offense. They've tried passing, running, motion, shifts, trades, jumps, you name it. They've tried it right now, and just nothing seems to be working for them. So they need to. They're having an identity crisis right now. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they're doing on offense. For me personally, easiest thing to do right now, if I'm them, is to establish the running game. All right, so that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing here if I'm the Middletown coach, to try and do something, to get myself some positive momentum in this ball game. But right now, to me, that's what I would do, is just establish the run right now.
So as we await action, 6:46 left to go. A protracted wait here in between kickoff and play from scrimmage. They motion the wing. And now the quarterback keeping it, and Davis has good yards into the linebacking core. Pickup of 7, maybe 8 on the play for the QB Davis. And you had mentioned about his an idea that he might be a good run-pass option as a quarterback. He has the size for it, that's for sure.
Absolutely. He's got the size, and I'm kind of surprised that and that's another thing that I would probably end up doing, is trying to utilize all my athletes, in the backfield that I have. And I think he's probably one of the best athletes on this field right now. So I would utilize him in that running position.
2nd and 3 after the pickup of 7. Davis again out of the gun. They motion Calhoun to the bottom. They disdain the pass that way and throw out to the far side for the first down. Throw goes to Kendrick Bell on the reception.
Used to call that Hawaii route, basically all hitch routes. It's a great route to get yourself kind of geared into passing down the field. Keep it short and intermediate.
Partner, I'm going to say something after this play, and you may roll your eyes on this one, but it's 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. And again, the QB out of the gun. And the QB, actually it's the running back. Good sleight of hand there to Lamont Chambers after a pickup of a couple. So you just mentioned the Hawaii route, right? Now, if you're playing it against the 3-4 or the 50, as we have been known to see here over at East, is that Hawaii 5-0?
Well, see, I would call Hawaii 5-0 be my hitch and go route. You know what I mean? So when you have that hitch and go, that was Hawaii 5-0, but you're 100% right there, Jeff.
Triples to the top side, and I do like groaner laughs. 2nd, and we'll call it 8. Quarterback rolling to the right. Davis throws. It's complete, and he's got another pass reception out to the 47-yard line, where the receiver is stopped out there by Kamari Smith. So Calhoun gets a reception, and if nothing else, Middletown has spread the ball to different receivers tonight.
They've distributed the ball well, and that's one thing. So here again, 3 wide, empty backfield. Let's see what happens here.
Triples to the bottom of your screen, twins to the top, and an empty backfield for the quarterback. Davis in trouble, steps up, throws, and was that actually caught? It was. Good job on the reception by Kendrick Bell. Whew. He took a nasty hit out on the sideline, held on for dear life, and got the reception and moved the chains. 1st and 10 out at the Lakota East 47, and a good bit of movement through the air for Middletown.
Absolutely, and Kellen Davis, great awareness there, stepping up in the pocket, making a tough throw. He's got it here. He just needs to put a drive together.
They motion Calhoun, and they go triples to the bottom. And Chambers, or was it the quarterback keeping, but it's a few yards, maybe 3, we're going to call it 4 on the play.
I think this is probably the first time they've crossed the 50-yard line all night on offense. So, again, keep this momentum rolling if you're Middletown. Keep it going.
The DN, Kevin Cornow, 6 foot tall, is senior on the stop. 2nd and 7. As we melt the clock under 4 minutes left to go till halftime. 28-0, and we got to stop. And that's a false start. Again, Lakota East winners last week, 35-0 over Milford. They are technically third on my GMC list behind Princeton at 1-0, actually 2-0, and then Hamilton at 1-0, who we saw in week 1. Second and 12. The QB passing and overthrowing his receiver. Intended out there for Kendrick Bell, and it's incomplete.
And so here, take a look at this, Jeff, right now. This is what you call a drive killer with that penalty right there. They had it 2nd and 5. It pushes them back now to 2nd and 12. They get an incomplete pass. Now you're in a 3rd and long situation. That you can't have those type of mental mistakes when you're driving down the field like that. You got to hunker down, and that was just a drive killer for him.
Ball's at the 49-yard line, 3rd and 12. Davis out of the gun, and East showing blitz right up the middle. He steps up, he throws left, and incomplete left. Actually, it looked like it was going to go the other way. Intended for Calhoun. Warren out there as a defensive back, and it's 4th down. And to your point, right, there was something to be said about being on time. When you get the penalty and then the loss on a subsequent play, you're no longer on time.
Exactly. We call it getting off schedule. You're now off schedule with your play calling. It's a really hard situation to be in if you're a play caller. Just, it's like you take 3 steps forward and then 2 giant steps back.
J.C. Calhoun's been a busy man at the punting spot tonight inside his own 40. As he lets this one fly, and I believe it's another fair catch for Rabin. Out his own 15-yard line. So 36 yards on the punt, nothing on the return with 3:30 left to go. And it'll be interesting to see, partner, whether they go with a 2-minute drive down the field, if you will, or if they do decide to go up top and see if they can really get into that 30-plus point margin and just go up ahead.
Right now this is a great opportunity to practice, or get your 2-minute drill in. And so, if I'm Coach Haynes and I'm Lakota West or Lakota East, right now, I'm probably thinking about that. I want to try and get my 2-minute drill going here, just because I know I'm going to need that later on in the season, especially when you get down to week 10 when you're playing Lakota West.
Oh, and that. The way that East has really been able to put up points the last couple of weeks, that may be a deciding game for the conference. Maybe involving both or maybe just one of them and one of the other playing spoiler, as we got minimal yards on 1st down. But the point there, partner, is that game may have true significance going into the playoffs.
Oh, I think it will, especially like you hinted there with the way that Lakota East has played, especially with the way they played against Moeller. And Moeller's going to be a really good football team this year. The way I saw them play in that game, man, I tell you what, I'm really anxious to watch that Lakota East, Lakota West game in Week 10 because I totally agree with you. I think that could be a huge deciding factor for playoff positions or maybe even who gets in, who gets out, depending on how the rest of the region does.
They go twins to the bottom of your screen. 10 on the play clock. And the pitch out, it goes to Kenrich, who's got an angle out to the corner, still keeps his feet out past the 20, out towards the 25-yard line where he is dropped out there by Jeremy Alvarez, who we've called his name quite a bit here tonight.
Yeah, having great game at defense. Another great run there by Charlie Kenrich. One thing I noticed there, though, I would have liked to see him kind of plant that foot and get upfield. He's, extending that play all the way to the sidelines, but, not picking up that much. We'll see what they can do here on 3rd and short.
Well, you see the design of when they decide to run him, right? It's that pitch play that goes out to a sideline and allow him to be in space. Quarterback keeping should have the 1st down with 2:07 left to go. So are they a little too comfortable right now in running the offense?
I was thinking about that. And personally, I think that, I would like to try and see them, extend the ball downfield a little bit. And, especially they've had success, with the long touchdown pass in the last drive. So, right now, it's 2-minute drill here. We'll see what they do. Just going to be very interested.
Pass play, it goes to Davis. Out into space, has the 1st down, down the sideline, across midfield, 1 man to beat, and he is knocked out of bounds inside the 30, out to the 25-yard line. A big pickup there of nearly 50 to Eric Davis.
Flag just popped in there at the end of the play I just saw. But on that play, great blocking by number 87, the tight end, Ben Stowe for Lakota East.
So we'll see with 1:37 frozen on the clock And Davis had a head full of steam as we take a look at this one on the replay. And again, you look at Davis there, pick up steam down that sideline. He's a locomotive.
You know, anytime that you see a running back like that able to shift gears and change speeds running down, I mean, that's just amazing. He's got a really, really bright future ahead of him, whether it be playing college football or whatever he decides to do, because, I mean, he's just a really amazing athlete.
So it's on Kenrich, and it may be a targeting call on Charlie, who we have some notes on Charlie, so we don't want him to leave the ball game.
you know, one of those situations where it's just, you know, one of those plays where I don't think it was necessarily intentional, but they did call a targeting, so they must have seen something down there that we didn't.
So all the way back to the Lakota East 45-yard line. So that takes, goodness gracious, 30 yards off.
Oh, yeah.
So Kathman slips. Now he has to step up and will run for it. Has nowhere to go and maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. Seeing Gabe Terrell cleaning things up out there for Middletown.
See what they do here. I'm not sure if they're just going to let this thing kind of trickle down or if they're going to try and take a shot here, or at least get into a position to take a shot, I should say.
67 seconds left to go till halftime. 28-0 for our game of the week, powered by Bartell's Heating and Cooling. Week 3 here in the GMC to start conference play. The pitch, Charlie Kenrich, it's a halfback pass. And it's a little too long, just a little too tall for Kyle Poppy. Boy, a little razzle-dazzle, and why not get the bag of tricks out there with less than a minute left to go and this big of a lead?
Well, when you got this big of a lead, this is when you want to do it, is right going into halftime, not obviously in the second half. You know, but again, I'm trying to show off Charlie Kenrich's dual threat there, I guess, for the Purdue coaches.
Well, he does shoot well. He doesn't shoot a lot from the outside when playing basketball. But it's funny, when you think about high school basketball, you still think about guys a little taller than Charlie, maybe 6'5", 6'7", what have you. Charlie's in that 6'2", 6'3" range, but he'll play down on the block and take you out of the paint.
Well, obviously with the size of him and just how broad his shoulders are and how thick he is, I can definitely see that.
It's a running play on third down. Kathman trying to pick it up, and he's close. So Thigpen, the defensive back, made the stop, and they will move the chain. Or are they calling it fourth down?
Really hard to say. They might come out and measure
Well,
it
take
here.
a look at this one again. As you see there, and he is awfully close. They do spot him. Well, now they're going to give him the first down. So the ball looked like it was a little short of the line to gain. It's short of the 45-yard line, but they are moving the chains on the far sideline, 1st and 10.
Yeah, really surprised they didn't just bring the chains out there and get a quick measurement on that, because I thought he was a little bit short. Not a lot. I mean, just, you know, almost got it, but I definitely thought he was short, at least from my vantage point here. But, you know, I'm curious to see, you know, I guess now if you call the timeout, you got a first down and, you know, 1st and 10, you're kind of in this no man's land here. You know, we haven't necessarily seen the punting yet for Lakota East, so it's kind of hard to see what they can do. But, you know, right now with a fresh set of downs, I mean, I would imagine that they're going to take a shot here.
So East has 2 timeouts left to go here in this half. Middletown has the full complement. And they go twins to the bottom of your screen. Kathman drops the pass. He wants the home run. The 9 route. It is complete inside the 10-yard line. Was that Van Hosser again? It was.
You know, right there, we called it. We pretty much called it. Got the replay right here. Just watch him streak down the sideline. Great pass by Kathman. And, you know, great job by the receiver, Van Hosser, to go up and get the ball and bring it down.
Well, we have a penalty. I don't think Jerry Einsfeld turned on his mic. So it was interference, and the ball was dropped by Van Hosser instead of complete, and that's why we move up, 15, out to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 with 36.7 left to go.
He must have caught that ball out of bounds then. That must have been what it was.
And again, another passing opportunity for Kathman. The 9 route, touchdown! 34-0. The number 3 tonight for Kathman as he connects with Kyle Poppy.
Well, there it is. We haven't seen much of him on the ground tonight, but I'll tell you what, through the air, again, just the passing of him, he just puts his ball right on the spot for his receiver, wide open, running right by the defensive backfield for Middletown.
So he has spread the ball deep here in this ball game, connecting with 3 different guys on long touchdowns. It's Nick Rabin to hold for Trevor Hoffman. Good snap. The kick is away. Pinwheeling through, 35-0. With 30.3 seconds left to go, drive took 3 minutes off the clock, and as we try to count back here, 9 plays, 85 yards, the 30-yard hookup to Poppy, his first tonight, number 3 tonight for the quarterback, Kathman, as he has distributed the ball to Van Hosser from 48, to Rabin from 39, and now to Poppy from 30.
Tell you what, you got to love a quarterback that gives all the receivers some love. I mean, that's a great job by Kathman. And obviously, he's had the receivers open all night. This Middletown defense, they're having a hard time getting penetration up front. They're having a hard time coverage in the backfield. One thing that's demoralizing to any defense is when you're able to put those 9, 10 play drives together, just march it right down the field. That just takes the life out of a defense.
And we're now in a running clock situation for the second straight week.
Yeah, another one again. It's just that's the rule and whatnot. So, I mean, might be getting out here a little bit early tonight.
I'm going to ask you where you are going to take Josh and myself to dinner. That's the question. That's the question.
Oh, wow. I'll have to cook up something good. Maybe Taco Bell?
I had pizza. Can we get drinks?
I'd like that better.
So Dillard's back there along with Calhoun. 30.3 seconds left to go here in this one. And it's been all Lakota East tonight here at the Hawks Nest. Pinwheeling kick. It goes to Calhoun at the 5, 10, 15. Now back to the outside, 20, 25. And he is pushed back out to the 26-yard line. So a good return for J.C. Calhoun.
He's had a couple good returns here tonight. Unfortunately, every time I think that Middletown is going to gain momentum offensively, they shoot themselves square in the foot. They have penalties that just kill their drives every single time this first half. They just need to get something together. Like I said, they've moved the ball a little bit here on their last 2 drives. It's got to really focus in and knock the penalties out.
$22.7 left to go. They go trips to the bottom of your screen. We've got an official stoppage right now. A little equipment issue here for Lakota East. I think they've quickly resolved it. And now the quarterback, Davis, waiting to get the ball. And he'll keep for a couple of yards. And we'll see if this is the last play of the half. As we melt the clock under 10 and out to 5 seconds, and we're going to call it a half as we start seeing Lakota East players heading out to the far sideline. It's a rout here at the Nest. 35-0 here at intermission. It's our game of the week here on Chatterbox Sports. Ready to start things here in the second half as East will receive. We'll see if they bring out the first-team offense. I think that'll be the telling thing. If they want to work on some things, at least to start off the third quarter before they really wind up this clock and allow maybe perhaps a second team to play.
It's one of those things. I want to get my starters back out there coming right out of halftime. It's just good practice for, the rest of the season.
Pinwheeling kick, return man from the 10. 20, down the sideline, 30, 40, a bolt of speed for Van Hosser. Goodbye! 90 yards!
Curious if that's going to be a sideline warning where it is.
As we take a look at the kickoff return, that was a thing of beauty.
I mean, just found the lane, found the hole down the sideline, and, just great job, great awareness, great blocking there by his return team. We'll see what the penalty is here.
Again, the head official tonight is Jerry Einsfeld.
We have a sideline warning against Lakota. The touchdown count.
So they're going to count it 90 yards on the kickoff return.
This is a funny thing about a sideline warning. The state championship game in 2013, we had one penalty in the second half, one flag throw, and that was on me for a sideline warning. So I definitely, see that. You always want those guys to get back behind the yellow soccer line on the sideline. But luckily, no harm, no foul there for Lakota East, and another big score.
So Van Hosser, a 90-yard kickoff return. One play does it all to start the second half as we await the point after by Hoffman. And Van Hosser has been the star of this ball game in a high kick well above the uprights and good, 42-0.
I've noticed on a lot of his kicks here tonight. He gets it, looks like my golf swing a little bit. My chip gets it really high and then comes really far down. But hey, one thing that you're not going to happen against him. He's not going to get it blocked at the line.
So 42-0 here to start things off here in this second period. And I think the next thing that comes to mind, partner, is that, hey, it's going to be an offensive set for Middletown come out. On the next offensive opportunity, does Lakota East bring out their first team to work on a few things, or do they automatically bring out the second team?
It's one of those situations, Jeff, where I might mix in some of my twos right now, maybe at the line position somewhere. But again, I'm always a fan of I want my starters to get that first drive experience coming out of halftime, making adjustments. It's just, again, really good practice when you're up like this because, again, we've been talking about it all night long. The schedule does not get any easier for Lakota East down the road.
Partner, you and I got a chance to talk about our play of the game, and we had some choices that we went through from half number one. Does Van Hosser's kickoff return supersede now?
I think that might supersede everything because I'll tell you what, that was just so impressive, to come out of halftime again, make a big play like that. And the speed that Van Hosser has, really either of his touchdowns in the first half could go as, play of the game, honestly. And just a fantastic athlete out there that we're watching here tonight.
Hoffman to kick away. And a big end-over-end kick taken by the return man at the 8. Dances up to the middle. That's Calhoun, and he gets mollywalked. He got splattered at the 13-yard line. Mercy. So Draven Files on the special teams tackle, and you got to put a star on that one. Mercy.
That he also got a lot of help. Again, he kind of ran into his own player there. I saw another player from Middletown turn his head back. That's just those little discipline things that you just cannot have happen going, especially now that we're into week 3. You'd like to see those things kind of get washed out. Middletown's just got a lot of work to do.
And again, tough starting position for visiting Middletown. That's been a hallmark here in this ball game. Again, this time inside the 20, back to their own 14-yard line. 42-0 here at the Hawks Nest. Here for our game of the week, powered by Bartell's Heating and Cooling. And the give goes to the deep back for minimal yardage on the play to bring up second down. So we did have our Chatterbox game day here for this one tonight. And whatever it was, if it was the neon by the student section tonight, they might have to bottle that and sell that.
Oh, I know. I tell you what, just what a fantastic atmosphere we had for that earlier today. Just a great production by our team all the way around.
One more comment on that after this play. 2nd and 10. Quarterback keeping, throwing. He wants the 9 route for Calhoun out of the 50, and it is batted away from him. Great job of defense out there. And Cam Freeman comes up with a little bit of a limp shoulder, but he batted it away as we take a look at it again.
Great job here by Cam, on this sideline. Just great coverage all the way around. Turned his head back, got in great position there to make the play on the ball. That's all you can ask for out of your DBs.
3rd and 10 with 9:19 and counting. Again, the running clock here in this second half with a big lead by Lakota East. Davis looking left. Now flush from the pocket. He rolls, throws on the run, and it's complete. Got a couple yards to his receiver, but not much more. It's going to be 3 and out.
Flag on the play. Looks like somebody just some talking going on there after the play.
Do we have dirty laundry as well? We do.
We do, and I thought he may have signaled it might have been just a sideline warning on Middletown.
Well, when you have a lopsided game like this, you've got feelings that are going to be upset.
Yeah.
And honestly, on that last touchdown run by Van Hosser, he was very lucky that he didn't get called for taunting.
You know, anytime that you turn your shoulders back like that, or just turn back towards the defender anyway, you know, I'm sure that he's going to see that tomorrow in films and get an earful. At least I hope so. Because, you know, you can't have that. When you get down to these bigger games later on in the season and into the playoffs, that will just absolutely destroy a team.
Fourth and right, number 11 from Lakota. That's 15-yard penalty that way.
So Gavin Thigpen guilty of the infraction.
And we also have a dead ball. On fourth and right, on number 25 from Middletown. That'll be 15 yards.
And then 25, that's on Calhoun. No. I believe that is on the offense.
Yeah, they called it both ways there, so they're going to offset, and it'll go back to 4th and 4. That's why they're not walking. It doesn't look like they're walking anything off here because they called unsportsmanlike on Lakota, then went back, and he took a pause there, which is kind of odd, and then called a penalty on Middletown.
Okay, so we've got much ado about nothing. It's 4th down with 8:46 left to go. Much ado about nothing, and you got a punting situation from the 20. All right, we're straight. Ravens at it midfield, right at the 50-yard line. Awaiting the punt from Calhoun. The kick is away, pinwheeling out to the top towards the boundary, and it'll land short of the 50, going out of bounds. A 27-yard kick. Nothing on the return with 8:31 left to play here in this third period. 42-0.
Just pure dominance right now by Lakota East. And I'll tell you what, I've just been so impressed with the way that they've played on offense and on defense as well, but especially on the offensive side. You know, TJ Kathman, with the way he's performed here tonight, just been incredibly impressive.
We still see Eric Davis out there, Nick Ravens out there. We may have a new quarterback in there as we're waiting to see. Is that 12? 12 is Aiden Troutman. So he'll be under center, out of the wing tee. And the reverse give, it goes to Raven, up the middle, goodbye! One play does it all, 47 yards, 48-0. Mercy.
My goodness. I mean, what a run that was. I mean, just so quick. The way he hit the hole, and you'll see it right here on the replay, the way he hits the hole and then just accelerates through right there, just turns on the jets and then runs all over the Middletown defense yet again.
Wow. 2 minutes, beg your pardon, 4 minutes deep into this third period. We've got a couple more touchdowns here for Lakota East. The route is on tonight here at the Hawks Nest. Hoffman gets it through, 49-0. One play does it all. When you include the running clock in that was a 31-second one-play drive that goes 47 yards. Point after is good. The brand new score here in Liberty Township, 49-0. Big plays have punctuated this ball game.
You know, it's been the big plays, it's been the sustained drives, and, you know, Lakota East has been able to do it, you know, in all facets of the game right now, in all three phases. And it's just been total dominant right now. You know, you saw the kickoff return. You've seen lockdown defense. You've seen just a sustainable offense right now that they continue to drive down the field and get those quick plays like that. The Middletown defense, honestly, right now, they just don't know quite what to do to stop them.
Second touchdown of the ball game for Raven. He got one through the air back in the second period, and then he gets one on the ground as a wingback coming through the middle. An amazing night all around. I mean, I think the vernacular is that this one will be a stat sheet stuffer for the home team tonight.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And what I think you're just seeing here is just the talent, the speed is really what I'm also seeing by Lakota East right now. They have some really fast players on their team, and speed kills in football, and it always will. So again, you take all this in, and now you have the dual threats not only at the running back, wing back, and quarterback position. I'll tell you what, this Lakota East team I think is going to be a force to be reckoned with down the stretch here.
Our game of the week, powered by Bartell's Heating and Cooling here on Chatterbox Sports. Glad to have you along for the conference opener tonight here in the GMC and all across Greater Cincinnati as Hoffman kicks it away. It's a low liner down the sideline. Calhoun watches it go out of bounds, and that's actually an actual flag tonight against Lakota East. Want to talk about some of the other games going on, not from a scoring standpoint, but what's happening. Obviously, you have the game right here at the Hawks Nest. It's Mason hosting Coleraine. It's Lakota West visiting Oak Hills, and I believe they have a big lead in that ball game too. Fairfield's at Sycamore. The game that's not happening, that was on the schedule, was Hamilton and Princeton, and that was a COVID-related absence or a no game tonight, if you will, for both teams here. Their conference openers will be next week.
Yes.
And by the way, speaking of next week, as far as Princeton's concerned, boy, they got a big one. This one's going to be over at Lakota West, over at Beckett Ridge, as the team that you and I saw last week, partner, Lakota West will host the Princeton Vikings, and that should be a good one.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to see this game. I'm going to be antsy for it because I really think this could be one of the biggest games right now so far this season. It might be a precursor to maybe a first round or second round playoff matchup coming down the stretch for either of these two teams. But I mean, this is going to be really the first real true test for Princeton, really the second test for Lakota West, having played St. X week 1.
While you and I have been talking, there is a down Thunderhawk, so and he's still laying in a very prone position on his back. I think you and I had diverted our attention so much to the ball going out of bounds out in front of Calhoun out towards the 10-yard line that we didn't see the contact right in the middle. But the good news is that player is now in a sitting position, and he is being helped to his feet. That's 23. So Draven Files, who had a really outstanding special teams tackle here early in this quarter, is helped to his feet, and now he's going off under his own power. So good news for the Thunderhawks.
Yeah, really good news. He's one of those players that you got to have on the defense. He's a big hitter. He hits, and he hits hard, and he has throughout this game tonight. So hopefully he's all right. Just got shaken up there, but a real asset for this Lakota East defense.
1st and 10 from the 35. Dummy count. East isn't biting. Quarterback taking up the middle for a couple of yards. So Kellen Davis gets 2 on the running play to start off this drive, as the team has hemorrhaged 14 points here in this third period, though not all on the defense here. In fact, you had that 90-yard kickoff return by Van Hosser, and that really set the place abuzz.
Oh, that did set the tone really for this second half. Right there, Kellen Davis, running the ball kind of on that, misdirection, play action type play. I'd like to see more of that out of him and out of Middletown.
Pass play out to the wing, and it goes to Calhoun, who gets a couple more on the play to bring up 3rd and manageable. But of course, the clock continues to run with 6:42 left to go here in this third period, as Kev, you and I think a little bit more about dinner now as opposed to maybe perhaps the outcome of this ball game.
Absolutely, man. I got some Goodfellas pizza waiting for me at home right now, so I'm excited to get back to that.
Joe Meehan producing us tonight. So is Reed Mouse, and we're so glad to have him back in the fold. He's looking a little bit more tan than when we last saw him a week ago. 3rd down and 3. Twins to the bottom of your screen. Actually, triples to the bottom of your screen. And the quarterback keeping. He faked the pitch, and now he's not going to go anywhere. Pushed back off the right side of that line. So Bootscheit was out there, out on the stop, and he'll bring up 4th down. You go for it, by the way.
Right now it looks like they are, and I would. You got to get your team, you want to put them in a position to score here. That's what your goal is right now. So 4th and short, you've already had a block punt already. This just might be as good.
Triples to the bottom of your screen. They give to the running back, has the first down. As Chambers explodes into the linebacking core, needed one, got 5 more.
Chambers up the middle on the carry for the Middies.
L.J. Robinson, a reserve, got the stop, but not before the first down. So move the chains, 1st and 10, up to the 49-yard line with 5:17 to go.
Jeff, I want to interesting score out of the GMC right now. Mason 16, Coleraine 14. So that's very, very interesting down the stretch here. We'll have to see how that plays out.
So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a second as Davis waits for the ball, looks right, and now keeps his feet, and now will keep it. Across the 45-yard line into the linebacking core once again for a pickup of maybe 5. Stephen Embry, who's the nickelback on this team, got the stop. So young Mr. Decker and myself talked a lot about that matchup, and the thing that came to mind is with Coleraine losing the conference for the first time in nearly 20 years a year ago to Lakota West, and then you see the start they're off to right now at 0-3. If you lose to Mason here, you're almost out of the championship picture in the conference.
And honestly, you might be out of that playoff picture depending on how the rest of the region does. Very interesting to see. I think this might just be Coleraine, giving up that reign, giving up that dominance. But you're right, it's been 20 years, basically since Kerry Combs stepped foot there. They've been just an absolute dominant presence in the GMC. So a little shakeup going on at the top.
Chambers moving the chains. He was a little slow to get up, but he's all right. 1st and 10 at the 41 as we melt the clock down to 3:47 and counting. Lakota East has been outstanding here in this ball game. They've been stalwart on defense. I don't want to say this is the most penetration tonight that Middletown has had, but this is about right where they were on their best drive. Davis steps up, and now he'll have to run for it. And nice stutter, and he has the first down across the 30 out to the 29-yard line. As Evans came up, the linebacker, and made the stop. Ethan Evans, by the way, got a chance to talk with Rick Haynes prior to this ball game and talked about the emergence of Ethan Evans and how he's taken the place basically of Charlie Kenrich, who had been splitting time between the linebacking core and as a running back.
Again, anytime you can keep Kenrich, on that offensive side of the ball, that's great because you preserve him and his energy.
A big explosion play out there for Jalen Dillard as he gets inside the 10-yard line as we move the ball into the Cincinnati Reds red zone. Big league moments, big league plays, and legendary vibes. Catch the action at reds.com/tickets.
One thing, Jeff, I've been so impressed with Lakota East and their defense especially, they have not blitzed much tonight, but they've been getting great pressure with their defensive line. That's a huge attribute to this defense.
Dillard picks up 21. 1st and goal from the 8. As Davis will pass on 1st down. He looks to the corner of the end zone. It is incomplete.
Nope.
Or it is complete. Touchdown. That one, a little dance out on the edge by Kendrick Bell from 8 yards away, 49-6. And Middletown's on the board.
Take a look at here. Slow developing play. I was wondering where he was going to go. Goes to the corner. Ooh, that was close. That was close. Not quite sure on that one there, but they give him the touchdown.
So the first score of the night for the Middies. Here's the point after attempt. A pinwheeling shot is up and through for Zach Johnson. 2:13 left to play here in this third period. 49-7. We got a flag on the play as well.
Yeah, I think emotions might have been running a little high with somebody there in the middle. Not quite certain, but good. Again, just good job by Middletown to get the ball down the field. Great drive by them. First time we've seen that tonight.
Well, as we sort out the flag, let's at least give you the drive summary on this one. 9-play drive that goes 65 yards. It takes 5 minutes and 19 seconds off the clock. It appears to be against East. Oh, it's offsetting penalties. So the 9-play drive has 8 run plays. The only pass play is the one that gets to score, the 8-yard touchdown pass from Kellen Davis. to Kendrick Bell. By the way, that's Kellen's first touchdown pass of the year. Extra point's good, and the brand new score here at the Hawks Nest, 49-7.
Well, one thing, Jeff, I talked about in the first half was I really felt that they needed an identity. They needed to start running the football and establishing that run and taking, keeping that Lakota East offense on the bench, and that's exactly what they did right there. 9 plays, 1 pass. It was the touchdown pass there. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for Middletown.
As we look ahead, by the way, while we have a moment, to what's going to happen next week, or what's scheduled to happen next week, we did talk about Princeton and Lakota West. That's definitely the feature game in the GMC. That may be the feature game all across the region.
Yeah.
Mason will visit Middletown, so it doesn't get any easier for Middletown next week as Mason comes up to Middletown. And the comments have been really good under Brian Kastner. And the pinwheeling kick taken at the 23 by one of the Upmen, out to the 25, out to the 28-yard line. I believe that was 30 on the return. Ethan Evans, the linebacker.
It's always funny to me, I was a special teams coordinator for 2 years at Loveland. And, I would always tell my linebackers, they're just so not used to handling the football like that. Hey, just fair catch the ball. There's no reason for you to run with it when you don't know how to. Great job there. Great awareness by number 30 to pick up the ball and get run. But you could definitely see he didn't quite know what to do with it when he got it.
Well, Ethan has actually returned the ball a little bit this year. He's got 1 kickoff return for 12 yards. So he's actually run the ball a little bit, and he got a few yards here on this one. 1st and 10 at the 29 as the clock's moving with under 2 to play here in this third. 49-7 is your score. So, 8 touchdowns in this ballgame. Partner, you and I in week 1 saw 10 touchdowns in that ballgame. As the give goes up to the fullback, and he gains 5, almost 6, maybe 7 on that play.
Like Coach Haynes getting his, start trickling in those 2s now and start, getting them in there. Just great practice for, your JV squad, your 2s, and, kind of seeing the future right now of Lakota East football out there.
So Troutman, who had apparently got that last carry, comes out. And we're seeing here, as my eyes are a little bit bad here in the dark, Marvin Richter comes on in as a fullback here in this one. Thank you. And I'm saying thank you to our spotter, Josh Newen, who's also our technical guy here tonight this evening. 2nd down. And the pitch out. It comes to the sideline and a 1st down run. And it goes to Tabron Benny Powell, which may be my favorite name on the roster. Tabron is spelled Taebron.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it there. One thing there, I mentioned about pursuit angles, earlier on in the game. Not a bad job there by Middletown. They got to figure out a way to stretch that pitch to the sideline more. Don't let them get that vertical lane.
This may be the final play of this third period. So we melt the clock under 10, on down to 5, and we'll see if they get this one off. They do. And the reverse pivot give. I believe it's Benny Powell again, and he gains maybe about 5 on that one, and that is the final play of this third period. After 3, 49-7 on our game of the week here on Chatterbox Sports. One more minutes here in Liberty Township for our game of the week, powered by Bartell's Heating and Cooling. On Kevin Zilch, on Geoff Kim. I'm just wondering now, as we reverse sides of the field and Lakota East goes left to right and attacks the north side of the end zone. And partner, I'm kind of wondering how your keys are working out here in this ballgame.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The Lakota East has established the run, I think, very nicely here tonight.
And ball was out. And Middletown Maverick, no, it's still out. And it's recovered by Lakota East. Tyler Peoples was able to jump on it, and it's a big loss and a punting situation as we look to the replay.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened there. It looked like just a bad snap or bad handoff there for Lakota East. Really, into my memory, that's about really the only big negative play outside of a penalty that they've had here tonight, Jeff.
I believe that's a loss of 16 on the play. They marked the ball at the 33. It's 3rd and 20. So I don't know what you have in your bag of tricks with a second team. I'd be a little surprised if they put this one up top.
I would too. I would probably, honestly, I'd like to run that outside veer probably, just get to the edge.
Tight formation as they angle to the right and look to get that angle. And initially a couple of yards. And Ronan Casanova, who had been the leading tackler in the GMC coming into this ball game, gets a stop. He's been a little quiet here tonight.
Yeah, Mr. Casanova we have not called his name, early on, which was kind of surprising for how just kind of dominant he's been so far this year on defense. But yeah, great play there to snuff it out.
So it's a punting situation after a gain of 2. Kenrich to punt it away. And this one gets by the return man. It's a long one. Boy, this one takes a big roll inside the 15-yard line, down to the 13. Mercy.
Well, those punts, and that was a low-lining, kind of a line drive type punt. I've always told my guys, look, if you think you can catch it, but if you don't, just fair catch it and let it go. Hopefully roll into the end zone. Obviously it didn't there, but those are tough ones to catch.
So we got a flag on the play, and we're sorting it out. Or do we have a flag? I haven't seen. It looks like it had been picked up. So they did pick up the flag, and it's a 52-yard punt, nothing on the return. And that's one of those punts that goes inside the 20. It's one of those stat sheet stuffers that go for punters. Not very many of them, but Charlie Kenrich, who came in averaging 34 a kick on the year, gets a big one here of 52. And that's a season long. Now we do have. So a block in the back against the return team. So they'll tack on that 52-yard punt. So DeLon, Moore, Simpson guilty of that one. And they're going to push back with 10-17 left to go. And again, Kev, this game's been punctuated by errors. Penalties, these sorts of things that happen to push back your team in territory as they push the ball back, I believe, half the distance out towards about the 7-yard line.
Well, you got to remember, Jeff, this game started with 3 straight offsides penalties, so was one of those nights for Middletown, unfortunately.
Really minimal gain here on that one. One of these nights. That's as we go into our song bag of tricks. Of course, who did that one?
Oh boy, is that a Rod Stewart song?
I'll give you some names.
Okay.
Glenn Fry, Don Henley.
Oh, Don Henley.
Timothy B. Schmidt was in that group.
The Eagles.
Yes.
There it is. You had me at Don Henley.
Second down. They do have 12 up on the board, but it's at the 7-yard line. Roll right by the quarterback, Davis. A long one! The 9 route for Bell. It's incomplete out at the 50-yard line. He had to step on the DB.
Yeah, that ball's, places it inside the numbers that he might have something. Shoot, I might come back to that right now if I'm Middletown or something along those lines in this 3rd and long situation again for him.
So 3rd down. And if you don't convert here, I as much as you hate to punt in these situations, on a running clock when you have nothing to lose because you're already down by big, you're probably going to still see a punt here on this drive. Davis looking, he steps up, and he goes to the short man. It's his running back, Chambers, and he has a 1st down. Great second effort, and he's still on his feet out to the 35, down the sideline, and he's still running, and he's hogtied, and a whistle had come in long before as he comes to rest out at the 45-yard line, but we'll see where he actually went out.
We'll take a look at that. This is great tape for the Lakota East. These are young guys that are out there right now. I just saw 2-3 missed tackles. You can really call that 4 missed tackles right there. So, again, they're going to come back in tomorrow morning, put on this tape, and they're going to have some good film to train on with these young linebackers from Lakota East.
Player down out on the far sideline. It's a Middletown player, and it is Chambers who had the big run, and in fact that's the biggest play from scrimmage here tonight for Middletown.
Yeah, it really is. Again, I like what I'm seeing here by Middletown. They were backed up big, 3rd and long, and were able to get the ball, big play. Let's see what they can do here with it.
So they're going to spot the ball officially at the 43. So that's a 36-yard pickup on that pass play and the second effort by Chambers. And the give goes to the running back, looking to stretch it out to the corner. Has no corner, now tried to reverse field, and he is pushed back inside the 40-yard line. So nowhere to go for the reserve running back in Jalen Dillard.
You know, in the coaching world, we call this clinic tape. That was clinic tape right there by the Lakota East defense. Great pursuit angles and then backside contain. A lot of times you'll see the great pursuit angles, but you'll lose that backside contain with young players like this. So a fantastic job by the Lakota East defense all around there.
Forward progress to the 41-yard line, 2nd and 12. Quarterback roll right, throw right for Chambers, or Calhoun, beg your pardon, to J.C. Calhoun. That's incomplete.
Got to make that play right there. He had the steps. He had everything. Probably would have had a first down, if not more than that, had he made that play. You know, unfortunate event right there for Middletown.
Clock continues to move. 7:10 left to go. As we're just past 9 o'clock here in this ball game, so just a little longer than 2 hours so far here in this contest, and we won't have very much longer to go. At this rate, we might be out in about 12 to 15 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Davis back to pass, runs out of time, gets a nice block, and now we'll heave one over the middle, and it's picked off out of the 45-yard line. Return man taking it up across midfield back to the 45. So an ill-advised pass by Davis. As we take a look at this one on the replay.
You know, protection broke down for Kellen, then just, you know, makes an errant throw. A throw he should have never taken. You know, you got to just, in my opinion right there, fall down, live to fight another down, you know, and unfortunately just, you know, force the play. And anytime you force a play like that, usually bad things are going to happen, Jeff.
Jake Reisner got the pick. And with 6:30 left to go, it's another opportunity for Lakota East. Do they get over the 50 mark tonight?
Ooh, they're close.
They're on the opposing or the Middletown 44-yard line. And the reverse give coming near side. And boy, the running back got hit pretty hard coming across trying to get that one. That was Brandon Reap at 5'8", a junior. And he gained a couple on the play. So again, akin to what we dealt with, partner, last week, where you had second-team players by a team that's leading by big in the second half. You and I are learning new names on the fly.
It's always fun when they start putting the JV and the twos in there.
They go full wing tee on this one, and they motion Reap back, and now give to the fullback, and he's got space into the secondary, across the 30. He's got the first down. A big run out there by Marvin Richter. Big rumbling sophomore picks up the first down.
So one thing I'm really noticing with the quarterback Troutman that's in there right now, he's very mechanical. He's very, very deliberate with what he's doing. And I love that in a quarterback. He sticks his hand out there with the football, you know, very deliberately. And when you get a guy like that, a young guy that's mechanical, you know that he has that ability to be coached later on down in years to come.
Andy Fogelman's the lone wide receiver to the top of your screen. And again, they go to the big man, and Richter has a little less this time, as he got a little pushback across the line of scrimmage. 49-7 with 4:50 left to go. Partner, it's been a while since Middletown has won against Lakota East. They've got a 6-game losing streak here in this one. It'll be 7 after tonight. The last time that Middletown was on the winning side of this, you have to go back to 2010.
Yeah, you know, it's been tough for them to come out this, you know, to this side of town. And, you know, Middletown's just really kind of had struggled, you know, early on. We got a late hit there. Goodness.
So Richter didn't get much. Some contact at the end of that, and we'll sort that one out as we're talking about the 2010 game, October 22nd. And this one was over at Barnett Stadium, and so we'll take a look at this one on the replay. So it was at Barnett Stadium. Middletown won that game 49-35. A couple notables in that game, but you wouldn't think they were notables by exactly what we're talking about. The first one was the first score of the ball game was by a fullback who was only getting his second carry that year. Now keep in mind, this is October. This is deep in the season. If you're only getting your second carry, you know that you're not getting a lot of time touching the ball. You know who that player was?
I'm going to guess Eric Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber, excuse me, Eric. Listen to me.
So 1st and 10 at the 13 after the penalty on this one with 4:04 on the clock. Again, the wing T look. And the quarterback keeping it off the right side inside the 10 and out to the 7-yard line as we're firmly in the Cincinnati Reds red zone. For real-time news and exclusive content, follow the Reds on social. You can go to @Reds out on Twitter. So Kyle Schwarber got a 1-yard plunge in that ball game as we have 3:40 left to go here in this one. And that game was highlighted by a sophomore quarterback. A sophomore quarterback that threw the ball 7 times and still managed to beat Lakota East. Do you know who that was?
That I don't know. You stumped me on that one today, partner.
So we're in the red zone and trying to see if East can break 50 tonight. So they shift on the line, again out of the wing T. Single receiver to the top side and a lot of motioning. And the give to Richter across the 5 and inside the 5 with 3 minutes to play. So the big story is not the passing by the quarterback, by the way. So he went 4 for 7 for 47 yards. He did throw for a touchdown in that ball game. But I buried the lead in that one because Jalen Marshall in that game ran the ball 20 times for a season-high 308 yards and 3 scores, including the capper with 7 minutes left to go from 82 yards out, and that also was a season high.
I mean, 308 yards. That is just absolutely insane. I don't think I've ever seen that in over 12 years of coaching high school football. I don't think I've ever seen a running back do that.
Quarterback keeping and really nowhere to go with 2.5 to play. So they ended up, if I recall, going 10-0 in that regular season, but they lose to Huber Heights Wayne in the first round of the playoffs. So disappointing to lose in the first round. However, you know who was at quarterback for Wayne during those years?
I'm going to take him by, is his name Braxton Miller?
His name would be Braxton Miller.
You know, Huber Heights Wayne is a very special program. I actually lost my very last football game when I was at Moeller High School up at Dayton Wayne. Great facility up there. I don't know if you've ever seen that stadium, and the band that they have is unbelievable, Jeff.
4th, and we'll call it 2. And a keeper, and that's a turnover on downs, I believe. I don't think he got to the line to gain.
I don't think so either.
So not enough for Aiden Troutman. And that will snuff out an 8-play drive as we turn it over on downs. And that one took, even though the drive was unsuccessful from a scoring standpoint, that took 5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, you know, with the running clock, you're going to do that. But, you know, one thing I saw there with Troutman, the quarterback, he's got to get his center of gravity lower if he's going to take that Q sneak. He was almost standing up. He was the first person I saw on that play. If you're going to do that, you got to tell your quarterback, hey, look, you're almost going to roll off of the shoulder of your center left or right one way or another. But you got to maintain leverage and get low because essentially what you do, you kind of become a lineman in that case there, pushing the line forward as a quarterback.
To put a capper on last time wins, the last time Middletown won here, you have to go back to 2009. I believe that was a shutout win as the gift goes to Chambers, who's back in the ball game. He's no worse for the wear, gains a couple of yards on that play. So that win was back on October 9th, 2009. The Middies shut out the Hawks in that one 27-0. And since then, it's been Lakota East in their own home territory or on the road in Middletown after the 2010 game.
Yeah, you know, Middletown's just, they're going through, I don't know what they're going through right now, but they just have not had dominance or been able to get anything going offensively for years, really. You know, and again, it's one of those programs that has a lot of history to it, Jeff. You know, the run-and-shoot offense, the precursor to the spread, was invented in Middletown by Tiger Ellison, who went on to become a great assistant coach for a guy by the name of Woody Hayes at Ohio State for a number of years. So they have a deep-rooted football history in Middletown. You know, hopefully, you know, they're able to get something going, get the right players into the program, and, you know, hopefully bring back the pride of Middletown football.
18 seconds left to go. This should be the final play after the pass play to Calhoun was good and it changed, moved the sticks. And now the running back Chambers, good yardage out to the 40-yard line, and he's got 20, almost 25 on the final play of the ball game. 49-7 the final here tonight. And a big, impressive win from start to finish for Lakota East. They improved to 2-1 as Middletown opens up the season, having lost 3 in a row.
I mean, you go back to really kind of looking at my keys to the game. Lakota East, established the run early. Well, they did that. And not only did they do that, they distributed the ball to a lot of different players on the ground. So, that was a big key for Lakota East win tonight. They limited their penalties down, although I would say they need to shore that up a little bit more. I'm not impressed with their discipline on the penalty side of things. They definitely have to. We'll hopefully get some stats here, final stats coming in, and we'll take a look at that. And then I'm sure that they obviously dominated in the time of possession tonight over Middletown. Looking at the Middies, Jeff, I mean, there's a laundry list of things you got to do. First and foremost, you cannot start a football game with 3 straight offsides penalties. You just can't do that. That set the tone for this entire game. And then, the turnovers, the block punt, you cannot get yourself in those type of situations early. And, I said it, they needed to figure out a way to contain TJ Kathman. Well, they surely did not do that tonight as he threw the ball all over the Middletown defense. I think for them, they've got to establish an identity. What I liked in the second half, they got back to the run. They started running the ball. They had success with that. Middletown just really needs to figure out their identity. But, man, this Lakota East team, I'll tell you what, very impressive, Jeff.
And there are a couple of interesting games. I think the game next week that obviously I'm looking forward to is West hosting Princeton. But next week, these Lakota East Thunderhawks, who just put up 49 on Middletown, they'll go to host Hamilton, who we saw in week 1, and they put up a show, especially on the ground with Caleb Johnson. That should be an impressive game here at the Hawks next week.
I'm very anxious to see what that game looks like, especially with Hamilton basically having 2 weeks off. Interested to see how Coach Mahan brings his team in here after that, COVID break, if you will, after such a dominant performance against West Claremont that saw them come back from being down by 20. So that'll be very interesting to see how they play against Lakota East next week.
We'll run down a few of the numbers here, not to belabor anything, but again, the final 49-7. East had run the ball 36 times tonight for 209 yards. They passed 6 times, completed 4 for 166. On the other side for Middletown, they ran the ball 27 times for 106 yards. They threw the ball 18 times, got a touchdown, and completed 10 of them for 99 yards. Leading rusher in this ball game was Charlie Kenrich with 50 yards on 7 carries. On the other side, it was Lamont Chambers, who had 12 carries for 49, including that last play for 25. Kellen Davis was 10 of 18 tonight for 99 yards, a touchdown and an interception. On the other side, it was TJ Kathman at 4 for 5 in the first half for 166 yards and 3 touchdowns. Charlie Kenrich was 0 for 1 on a halfback option. Leading receiver in this ball game, well, I want to say take your pick. In terms of yardage, it looks like it was Eric Davis for 49. However, the leading receiver in terms of actual catches tonight, J.C. Calhoun, 4 catches for 21 for Middletown. Partner, instead of going through a drive summary or scoring plays, let's go to your play of the ball game.
Well, I'll tell you what, that first 49-yard touchdown pass to Caleb Von Hosser in the first quarter, I believe, was incredibly – second quarter, you're right, second quarter was incredibly impressive. And honestly, Caleb Von Hosser, the way he had another touchdown later on in the first half, and then he ran that touchdown back. I mean, honestly, that touchdown return to start the second half was very impressive. So you compile those 2 plays, and you got my play of the game right there, Jeff.
What about a player of the game tonight?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with TJ Kathman. The way he threw the football tonight and his precision, the where he placed the football was just so impressive. I mean, throwing for over 100 yards, his back-to-back weeks over 100 yards. I'm really anxious to see what he does next week against Hamilton, and then down the stretch when they get into the the meat of the GMC.
So we're about ready to wrap this one up. Final thoughts on this one before we head out.
Very impressive by Lakota East. I'm very, very impressed by what they have. I'm really anxious to see what they do down the stretch in the GMC.
Again, the final tonight, 49-7, as the Hawks improve to 2-1. They get above the 500 mark, and Middletown falls to 0-3. Thanks go out to our producers tonight for our entire crew. Joe Meehan was out there at the controls. So was Reed Mouse. We also got to thank our spotter tonight, Josh Newren. For Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. We bid you good night from Liberty Township.